any problem that connects because of okay. Let's begin the session. Today, the topic that I discuss is vocabulary. Right? We have had one vocabulary session, which was our first VA session. The first VA session was a vocabulary session. Today is the second session. Before this, we have had a couple of reading comprehension classes. Okay, let's for the disruption and there's a problem with the internet mind. Right? Let's continue. As I was saying, today we are discussing vocabulary. The basics we have discussed in one of the other sessions. Right? Today there are two specific questions that we first discussed today is confusion. So two terms that seem to again the I'm sorry. The two question types that we are discussing today are confusables. This is the first question type. The second question type that we discuss is analogies. And these are two question types that we are discussing today. If you recall, in the first session on vocabulary, that is in our earlier session on vocabulary, we had discussed synonyms and antonyms, and we had discussed fill in the blank, and we had discussed a few questions, not a lot, but we had discussed a few questions on contextual usage. Okay, let's come to the sheet. Right? Let's come to the sheet. In the sheet, I want you to try questions 6 to 10. Questions 1 to 5 will come later if you have time. For the time being, try questions 6 to 10. Or let me say questions 6 to 11. Okay? Please try questions 6 to 11. You'll notice that the answer options of two questions are the same. Right? So these questions are kind of in pairs. Right? Please try questions 6 to 11. As I said, some of these are similar to questions that have been seen in the exam, right? Some exam or the other. Questions 6 to 11. As I mentioned before, even if you're not 100% sure of the answer, please mark something. And what you think is appropriate, maybe you can make an intelligent guess, but please mark something. Questions 6 to 11. Take a minute or so. These are not difficult questions. Vaishnavi, correct. The seventh one is correct. Okay, let's discuss these. Right? Let's discuss these questions. Okay, question 6 has two options, inviolable and invaluable. Right? Let's see what the definitions of these two refer to something that cannot violate. Right? Inviolable refers to something that cannot be violated. Parul, correct. Your answers are all correct. Parul, correct. Good. So inviolable is something that cannot be violated. Invaluable is something that is priceless. Right? Invaluable is something priceless, something to which you cannot put a price. It is so valuable. Right? So for this question, the fundamental structure of the Indian Constitution is dash as per the Supreme Court. The answer is option 1. Right? The answer is option 1. That is, it is something that cannot be violated. That is, out of these two options, option 1 fits better in this sentence. The second question, a mother's love is dash for any child. The answer is invaluable. Right? Invaluable is something to which a price or value cannot be put, as it is too valuable. Right? Because it is too valuable. Right? Something to which a price or value cannot be put because it is too valuable. Please note the word invaluable is a positive word. It is not a negative word. Right? The term invaluable is a positive word. It's not a negative word. Right? It is a very positive word, invaluable. The next one, course versus course. And the English course, here the answer is option 1. Right? Here it refers to subject or study. Right? Here it refers to subject or study. The English course I took last semester was the best I have ever taken. Right? So it's option 1 over here. In the next question, this pattern works best with coarse heavy fabric. The word is coarse, the second option, COARSE, right? The second option. here this word refers to something that is rough, right? Something that is rough, right? So we are talking about the pattern working best with the rough, heavy fabric, right? So it's the second option here. The next question, it is a difference between IT apostrophe S and ITS. Please make a note, the first option, right? IT apostrophe S is short for it is. This option is short for it is. You want to say it is, you can put it up as IT apostrophe S. This is something that we will discuss in detail when we discuss punctuation in grammar, right? We will discuss this in detail when we discuss punctuation in grammar. That IT apostrophe S is short for it is. Whereas, just make a note, option ITS is a possessive pronoun, right? It's a possessive pronoun. This is something that we will discuss in detail when we discuss pronouns in grammar, right? We will discuss this in detail when we discuss pronouns in grammar. So the first one is short for IT is, that is it is. The second one is a possessive pronoun. In this question, the answer is option 1. Don't blame me. It is not my fault, right? So here what fits in the sentence is it is not my fault. So instead of saying it is, we are saying it's not my fault, right? So here it is option 1. In the next question, right? In the next question, the airplane began its descent. See, here it cannot be option Y1. Why can't it be option 1? Because I cannot say the airplane began its descent. I cannot say this. So it cannot be option 1. Right? Vaishnavi, correct. Here it is the second option. The airplane began its descent. Right? So here it is the second option. Right? These two terms, as I said, we'll discuss in a lot of detail when we discuss the corresponding topic in grammar. But this concept of ITS versus IT apostrophe S has been seen quite a few times in different exams. Right? It's been seen quite a few times. Right? So please differentiate between these two. Okay. Try the remaining questions till question 25. Right? Please try the remaining questions till 25. Questions 12 to 25. Right? Please try the remaining questions. Take 2-3 minutes or even 5 minutes if you want. Try the remaining questions. Questions 12 to 25. Otherwise, let's do one thing. Let's take some of them at a time, right? I think that will be better. Questions 12 to 17 first. Right? We'll discuss questions 12 to 17 first. Questions 12 to 17. These 6 questions. Vaishnavi, 12th is correct. Thirteenth also correct, Vaishnavi. Aditya, which question? The answer that you have given to which question? Vaishnavi, 14th is correct. 15th also correct. Aditya, it's a different answer. Parul, all correct. Good. All correct. Vaishnavi, different answer for the 16th one. Correct, Vaishnavi. Sambhav, all correct. Good. All correct, Sambhav. Okay, let's discuss. Right? Let's discuss. Question 12, it's a difference between advise and advice. Right? Please make a note that the first word is a verb. Right? It is basically an action. And what is an action? I'm sorry, what is a verb? A verb is an action word. Right? So with an S, the word advise is a verb. With a C, advice, the word is a noun. When I say it's a noun, what I'm saying is it basically refers to something. Right? It basically refers to something. So if I have a look at the question, it says, please give me some dash on the matter. So I'm basically asking for something on the matter. Right? I'm saying, please give me something on the matter. So it answers the question something. So here the answer is the second option. Right? I'm not talking about doing an action. Right? A verb is a word that describes an action that is taking place. Right? So here it is the second option. It's a noun. In the next question, it says he dashed me on the matter. Right? So in this case, there is an action that has been done. Right? He did some action. Right? So in this case, the answer is the second option. Right? It is advised with an S. Right? This is the verb. The earlier one was the noun. Right? So here it is the second option, advised. Those of you who got both these questions correct, that is pretty good, because even this is something that has been seen quite a few times in the exams. Right? The difference between advised and advised. Right? That is advice and advised. Right? I'm sorry, advice and advise. Okay, the next one, alludes and eludes. The first option means to make an indirect reference. Right? The first option refers to making an indirect reference. The second option means to avoid or escape. Right? The second option refers to avoiding or escaping, whereas the first option refers to making an indirect reference. So now if we have a look at the sentence, it says, in the book, the author dashed to real life events to create in order to provoke strong emotions. And here it is the first option, alludes to real life events. What does it mean? That he makes an indirect reference to real life events. Right? That is what the sentence means. Right? The author makes an indirect reference to real life events. Right? So here it's the first option. Whereas in the next question, right? Whereas in the next question, it says the police have been searching for him everywhere. However, the fugitive continues to elude them. Here it is the second option. Here it is elude. Right? Elude, as I mentioned, was avoid or escape. So the fugitive, the person who has run away, continues to avoid them or escape them. Right? So here it is the second option. Next question, discrete and discrete. This again is a pair of important words. Right? This again is a pair of important words. The first option, right? The first option where it says CRETE, this refers to separate or individual. Right? Please make a note of this. Those of you who are not aware of the difference, the first option refers to separate or individual. Right? Separate, individual, or you can also say distinct. Right? Separate, individual, or distinct. The second option, discrete, where it says CREET, it refers to something that is careful in conduct. Right? Careful in conduct, or it could even be something that is showing good judgment. Right? Something that shows good judgment. So here the sentence is dash analysis of the situation made life easier for the board members. Right? So here the answer would be the second option, discrete analysis. It showed good judgment. And that is why it made life easier. Right? That is why it made life easier. Please note the second option. This word is positive in connotation. Right? This word is positive in connotation. So why do we require a positive word? Because it is saying it made life easier. Right? So when I say made life easier, this is something that is good, right? So that is why we prefer a word that is positive in connotation. The first option is generally considered neutral in connotation. Right? It's considered neutral in connotation. See, essentially, if you see, these are fill in the blank questions. Right? And if you recall, when we were doing fill in the blanks in the last vocabulary class, right? That is in the previous vocabulary class, I had said that if you know whether a word is positive or negative, it sometimes helps. Right? So here the sentence was very positive in nature. That is why we went with the positive word. Right? In the next question, these are two dash subjects, kindly do not combine them. So if I am saying kindly do not combine them, what I am saying is these are two discrete subjects. Right? That is basically these are two separate subjects. Right? These are two separate subjects, kindly don't combine them. Right? So here it is the first option. See, I'll tell you a very simple way about how to remember the difference between these two options. It is actually something that even I use even to date, right? That is how to differentiate between these two options as to which one of them refers to separate. Right? Just understand this. It's a very simple thing, right? But this actually helps me remember the difference. If you have a look at the first option, you will see that the T, right? The T is separating the two E's. Right? There is a T in between the two E's, right? It is ETE. So the T separates the two E's. Right? So this is the word that means separate. Right? That is not happening in the second option. This is one easy way of remembering which one of these two words refers to separate. Right? The spelling in which the T is separating the two E's, that word means separate. Right? So this is an easy trick to remember which word refers to what. Right? It is the first option that refers to separate. Right? Okay. Now, let's come to the next few questions. Try questions 18 to 25. The next 8 questions, please. Questions 18 to 25. Definitely 18th is correct. 19th also correct. 20 correct. 21 correct. 22nd, 23rd also correct. All correct, Vaishnavi. Good. All correct. Sambhav, all correct. Very good. All correct, Sambhav. Parul, all correct. Very good. All correct. Okay, let's discuss these questions. This again is a pair of words that is important, right? Ingenuous and ingenious. Right? Let's see what the difference in meanings is. Right? Let's see what the difference is. The first option, right? The first option refers to someone who is naive or innocent. Right? Naive, innocent, childlike, simple. Right? That is what the first option refers to. Right? Naive, innocent, childlike, simple. It could even be someone who is trusting. Right? Someone who is trusting. Right? That is what the first option refers to. The second option, ingenious. The second option, ingenious, refers to something that is original, clever, or intelligent. Okay? It refers to something that is original, clever, or intelligent. Right? So the first one is naive, innocent, childlike, simple, or trusting. The second one, ingenious, is original, clever, or intelligent. Right? That is what these two words mean. If you want an easy way of remembering which word means what, right? If you want an easy way of remembering which word means what, maybe what you can do is you can have a look at how the words are formed. In the first word, you will notice it is GENU, right? In the second word, it is GENI. So what I do to remember this is the first word GENU. I think that this is similar to the word genuine, right? This is similar to the word genuine, right? So something that is genuine is maybe something that is innocent, something that is simple or trusting. The second word GENI, I refer this word to the word genius, right? I relate this word to the word genius, right? GENI. So who is genius? A person who is clever or intelligent, right? So that is one way of differentiating between the meanings of these two words. But this is an important set of words. In this question 18, look at the solution, it's dash. Right? Look at the solution, it's dash. It's going to be the second option, ingenious. Right? It's an original solution or maybe it's a clever solution. Right? It's an original solution or it's a clever solution. A solution is not likely to be innocent or childlike or simple. Right? When I say simple, simple in nature. Right? Simple in nature. So this is not likely to be innocent or childlike or trusting. In the next question, it says the dash villager was duped by the foxy trader. In this case, the answer is ingenuous. Right? In this case, the answer is ingenuous. What was ingenuous? Ingenuous was naive or innocent or childlike. Right? So here, if I consider naive or innocent, it fits in perfectly in the context of the sentence. Right? Who is naive? A naive person is a person who is simple. Right? Maybe a person who can be made full of, or maybe who can be manipulated. Right? The naive villager was duped by the foxy trader. What does duped mean? Duped means made a fool of. What is foxy? The word foxy refers to clever, right? Generally used in a negative sense. Right? In fact, what I'll say is better than clever is the word cunning. Right? Cunning is a better word because it has a negative connotation. Right? Cunning is a better word. Right? Okay. The next set of words, aisle and aisle. The first one refers to a separating passage. The second option is a short form for island. Right? So a short form for island is isle, I-S-L-E, and isle is a separating passage, generally between rows or columns of seats. So when I talk about please give me a seat, it goes to the dash. It is the first option. Right? It is between a separating passage. So if I consider the basic seating structure of an aeroplane, right? Maybe there are side. There passage through which one can walk. That is known as an aisle. The same thing happens in a theater. It happens in an auditorium. Right? So that separating passage between the rows or columns of seats, right? I mean, particularly the columns of seats. That is an aisle. And in the second question, last summer we visited the Isle of Bali, I-S-L-E. What does it refer to over here? It refers to island. Right? We visited the island of Bali. Right? So it's the second option here. The next one, flaunt and flout. Be humble, don't dash your wealth in such an insensitive manner. The answer is option 1, flaunt. Right? Flaunt means to display to public. Right? Or to publicly display. Right? To publicly display. To display to public or to display to the public. Right? To publicly display. So don't display your wealth in such an insensitive manner. Please be humble. Right? So it is F-L-A-U-N-T. The next one is flout. Drivers who flout the traffic rule must be penalized heavily. What does flout refer to? Flout refers to disregard or violate. Right? Disregard or violate. So drivers who disregard or violate traffic rules must be penalized heavily. Okay. After breakfast, I dash over some books. The answer is the second option. Pored means studied closely, right? Or gazed at. Right? That is pored over. Right? That is pored over. Right? Pored over means to study carefully or gaze at something. Right? So after breakfast, I studied some books. Right? I gazed at some books. That is what I did after breakfast. The first option, P-O-U-R-E-D, that refers to pause, to flow. Right? It refers to something that flows. So if you have a look at the next sentence, after some time he couldn't take the heat anymore. Cuss words dashed from his mouth in a steady stream. Right? Steady stream. Cuss words dashed from his mouth. Right? So this is flowed. Right? This is flowed. Right? So here it is the first option. Right? Here it's the first option. Those of you who got all 8 questions correct, right? I guess most of you got all 8 questions correct. That's good. Right? That's good. Not all these questions were easy questions. Right? There were 1 or 2 difficult questions in here. Right? But it's good. Those of you got all 8 questions correct. So these were fill in the blank questions which were based on confusing words. Right? Okay. Now what we do is let's come to the next question type. Right? Let's come to the next question type. The next question type is known as analogy, or in some places, this question type is known as verbal analogies. Right? Analogy or verbal analogies. I had touched upon this in our first session. What I'll do is I'll explain what the concept is again. Right? It's a very simple concept. The relationship between two words is to be determined. Right? So there are two words given. You determine the relationship between those two words. The same relationship needs to be applied to the next pair of words. Okay? That is the concept of analogy question or verbal analogies. Right? Analogy questions or verbal analogies. Right? That is what the concept is. Basically, there are two pairs of words. To determine what the relationship is between the two words in the first pair, you apply that same relationship to the words in the next pair. Right? That is what needs to be done. Right? That is what needs to be done. So, for example, if I say costly is to cheap, right? If this is one pair of words, and this is the first pair of words, and the second pair of words is expensive is to dash. So what I do is I understand the relation between the first two words. So what is the relation? These two words are opposites, and basically these two words are antonyms. So that same relation I apply to the next pair of words also. So the antonym of expensive is going to be inexpensive. Okay? It's going to be inexpensive. In most of the cases, the relation is that either they are synonyms or similar words, or they are antonyms or different words, right, with opposite connotations. And that more often than not is the case in questions on analogy or verbal analogy. Right? Okay, let's do questions. Right? What we'll do is we'll do 3 questions at a time. Right? We'll do 3 questions at a time. Right? Try the next 3 questions, please. Questions 26 to 29. These are comparatively more difficult questions as compared to the ones that we have just done. Right? These are comparatively more difficult. Right? Please try these 3 questions. 26 to 29. Far different answer for the 4th one. I'm sorry, for the 28th one. Different answer. Vaishnavi, different answer for the 28th one. Sambhav, the 27th one is correct. The 27th one. Okay, let's discuss. Right? Let's discuss. The first question, question 26. Indigent to wealthy. The word indigent refers to someone who is poor or someone who is needy. Right? Someone who is poor or someone who is needy. So basically, if I look at these two words, right? These two words are opposites. Right? These two words are opposites. So from this perspective, now can someone tell me what the answer is? Options 1, 2, 3, 4. Which option gives a pair of opposites? Options 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do we have opposites? It is option 3. It is option 3. The answer is option 3. Right? The answer is option 3. Just make a note of what the words mean. The word affable refers to lovable. Right? The word affable refers to lovable, either ways. Right? The word affable refers to lovable. Cantankerous, right, refers to quarrelsome. Right? Cantankerous refers to quarrelsome. Affable is a positive word. Cantankerous is a negative word. Right? Affable is a positive word. Cantankerous is a negative word. Affable is something that is likable. Right? Something that is lovable. Cantankerous is quarrelsome. Right? Cantankerous is quarrelsome. Let's have a look at the other options. Obedient is someone who obeys. Acquiescent is someone who tends to accept. Right? Please make a note of the meanings of all these terms. Right? Even those answer options which are not correct. And even those answer options which are not correct, please make a note of those terms. Right? Because these are important words. Obedient is someone who obeys. Acquiescent is someone who tends to accept. Right? When I say accept, it could even be obey. Right? It could even be obey. So obedient and acquiescent, these are similar words. What we are looking for is the set of opposites. Right? Obedient and acquiescent are more or less synonyms. Right? They have similar meanings. So the answer cannot be option 1. Submissive and compliant, these again are synonyms. What is compliant? Compliant is a person who complies. Right? A person who complies. Right? A person who does what is said. Right? A person who does what is said. That is more or less the same as submissive. Who is submissive? A person who submits easily. Right? A person who submits easily. Submissive comes from submits. So a person who submits easily is submissive. A person who complies easily is compliant. The meanings are similar. Right? These again are synonyms. Grovel and genuflect. Right? Grovel and genuflect. Both these words right? Both these words are similar. Genuflect means to obey. Grovel has a lot of meanings, one of which is respect. Even genuflect has another meaning, right? But these again are similar words, right? Grovel means to treat with too much respect, right? To treat with too much respect. That is grovel, right? To treat with too much respect. Genuflect is to obey, right? So these again are similar words. Both these words have other meanings also, but if I consider these meanings, these words are similar, right? These words are similar. So options 1, 2, and 4 are pairs of similar words, whereas option 3 is a set of antonyms, right? They're opposites. That is why the answer is option 3. Right? Genuflect is an important word. Right? Genuflect is an important word. Please note there is one more meaning of the word genuflect. Right? To touch the knee or knees to the floor. Right? To touch the knee or knees to the floor. Grovel also has a similar meaning. Right? To lower oneself generally to the floor. So even in that context, they are similar words. Right? These words are similar words. Okay, let's come to the next question. Right? Let's come to the next question. Again, what I'll do is I'll tell you the relationship between the first two words, then tell me what the answer is. Rake, right? Rake is a tool which is used to gather leaves or grass, right? A rake is something that is used to gather leaves or grass, right? So if there is a lot of leaves or a lot of grass on the road and someone uses a kind of tool to brush it away or to gather it or to collect it together, that tool is known as rake, right? So rake gathers leaves or grass. So now tell me which option, homeowner, profile, census, or lawn, what gathers information? Aditya, correct, right? Parul, correct. The answer is option 3, right? The answer is option 3. A census is used to gather information, right? A census is used to gather information, right? A profile has information. Profile does not gather information, right? A profile has information, but a census gathers information, right? So the answer is option 3, right? Census. Okay, now let's have a look at the next one. Right? This is a good question. Right? This is a good question. See, what we have is whisper is to shout. Right? We have whisper is to shout. Whisper and shout. Parul, different answer. Whisper and shout. These more or less are opposites. Right? These more or less are opposites. Right? Whisper is something that is done softly. Shouting is something that is done openly. When I say openly, what I mean is it is done directly. It is not done in a subtle manner, right? It is not in a subtle manner, right? So whisper is something that is done softly, whereas shouting is something that is done openly or directly. So these are more or less opposites. Now tell me something. The word hint, is it done softly or is it done directly? The word hint, is it done softly or is it done directly? The word hint is something that is done softly, right? Correct, Parul Sambhav, correct. It is something that is done softly, right? So now I'm looking for a word that is done directly, right? Now I'm looking for a word that is done directly. Now options 3 and 4 cannot be the answers, and because surprise is definitely not done directly, secret is also definitely not done directly, and so options 3 and 4 are out. So now it is a choice between options 1 and 2. Okay? Now it is a choice between options 1 and 2. If I have a look at options 1 and 2, both of these are done directly. Right? Both of these are done directly. When I demand, a demand is a direct demand. Pointing is something that is done directly. So from the perspective of directly, both these options are correct. But I still have to choose a better option, right? So if you have a look at what is common in all the three words, the common thing in all the three words is that it is something that is verbal in nature. Right? When I say verbal in nature, what do I mean? What I mean is that it is something that is said. Right? It is something that is said. Right? So if I am looking for something that is verbal in nature, demand point which is verbal in nature, the demand is verbal in nature. So the answer is option 1. Right? The answer is option 1. Point is not wrong. Right? I repeat, point is not wrong. But demand is a better option because the earlier three words, hint, whisper, and shout, those are verbally done. A hint is given verbally when someone whispers, that is something that is said softly. When someone shouts, it is something that is said loudly. Okay? So the best option here is option 1. Option 2 is not wrong, but option 1 is better. And that is what the question is asking us, right? Best represents. So option 2 is not wrong, but option 1 is definitely a better option. Right? But options 3 and 4 are wrong. Right? Options 3 and 4 are definitely wrong. Okay. In case there are any doubts, in case you don't agree with what I'm saying, in case you have something in mind, please ask. Right? Please ask. So whatever doubts you have, please have them clarified. Okay. Next three questions. 29, 30, 31. Right? Questions 29, 30, 31. Next three questions. Parul, which question is that? Correct. 29 correct, Parul. Vaishnavi, different answer. For question 29, different answer. Sambhav, 29th is correct. 31 is correct. 30 you have not typed in the answer. 30 is also correct. Very good. All three correct, Sambhav. Parul, 30 different answer. Parul, 30th is correct. Now it's correct. Okay, let's discuss. And let's discuss. Grouchy refers to bad-tempered. Right? Grouchy is bad-tempered. So grouchy and irritable, these are more or less synonyms. Right? So what I'm saying is these more or less are similar words. So I'm looking for a pair of synonyms. Right? I'm looking for a pair of synonyms. Parul, 31st is a different answer. Right? I'm looking for a pair of synonyms. The answer is option 2. Altruistic is to charitable. Altruistic means generous. Right? A person who does not only think about himself or herself, a person who thinks about others also. Right? A person who thinks about others also. So an altruistic person is a generous person. A person who is charitable, right, is also a generous person. So the answer is option 2. Friendly and graceless. There's absolutely no relation between these two pairs of words. Right? Friendly has got nothing to do with grace. Right? A friend can be graceful, graceless. Right? Friendly has got nothing to do with gracefulness. Right? So option 1 is out. Inflammatory and dissipating. Inflammatory is something that causes anger or causes pain. Right? Something that causes anger or something that causes pain. That is inflammatory. Right? That is inflammatory. Dissipating is breaking up, lessening, right, or scattering. Right? Breaking up, lessening, or scattering. So in a particular context, these two words can be opposites. Right? Because inflammatory means to cause anger or pain. Right? So inflammation increases anger or pain. Dissipating reduces something, right? It lessens something by breaking it up. By scattering something, the intensity reduces. Right? So inflammatory and dissipating, these are opposites. We are looking for something that is similar. Right? So option 3 is not the answer. Exacerbating. This word means to make worse. Right? Exacerbating means to make worse. Palliative means, right? Palliative means to calm. And these are again opposites. Right? These are again opposites. So options 3 and 4, they are more or less opposites. Option 2 are similar words. Right? Option 2 has similar words. That is why option 2 is the answer. Right? Option 2 is the answer. Please make a note of all the answer options, right? Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. Carousel. Right? Carousel again has multiple meanings. One meaning of which is that it is a circular conveyor belt to move luggage. Right? If you have been to an airport, right, when you get down from a plane, when you go to collect your booked baggage, there is a circular conveyor belt, right? And that circular conveyor belt carries luggage, and that is known as carousel. Right? So a carousel moves luggage. It is used to carry luggage. Right? Similarly, an escalator is used to carry people. So the answer is option 3. Right? The answer is option 3. Right? Carousel has another definition as well, but in this context, It is something that is used to move or carry luggage, just like an escalator is used to move or carry people. Right? So the answer is option 3. Right? The answer is option 3. Now, coming to the 31st question. Right? Coming to the 31st question. This is kind of a difficult question. Right? Thespian. Just make a note of what thespian refers to. A thespian is an actor. Right? A thespian is an actor. Right? A thespian is an actor. What is an opera? Opera is basically a musical play in which all or most of the words are sung. Just make a note of this. An opera is a musical play in which all or most of the words are sung. So now if I look at the first pair of words, right? If I look at this pair of, if I look at the first pair of words, thespian is an actor, right? An actor acts in a play, because that is what happens in a play, right? People act. So thespian acts in a play. So thespian performs in a play, right? So the relationship between these two words is thespian performs in a play. So now I'm looking for a word about who performs in an opera, right? And what is an opera? Where words are sung. So basically I'm referring to a person who is a singer in an opera, right? I'm referring to a person who is a singer in an opera. Please make a note. The answer is option 2, right? It is diva, right? It is diva. It is the second option, right? It is the second option. Diva is a female singer, right? Generally the main or the most famous female singer, that is diva, right? The answer is option 2, right? The answer is option 2, right? It is diva. Diva is the main female singer or a famous female singer, right? So here the answer is option 2, right? The answer is option 2. Okay, next 3 questions, please. 32, 33, 34. Questions 32, 33, 34. Parul, 32 is correct. 32 correct, Parul. Thirty-three also correct, Parul. Sambhav, 32 is correct. 33 is a different answer. 34 is correct. So 32 and 34 correct. 33 is a different answer. Parul, 34 is also correct. Good. Okay, let's discuss. Right? Let's discuss. The first pair of words, faux pas and blunder. Right? Faux pas and blunder. Faux pas is defined as a blunder, verbal or behavioral, in a social situation. Right? So faux pas and blunder basically mean the same thing. Right? Faux pas and blunder basically mean the same thing. Right? It's a blunder maybe in terms of speech or behavior which is made in a social situation. Right? So now I'm looking for a pair of words that mean the same thing. Right? So this is a pair of synonyms. Right? So now I'm looking for an answer option which refers to something that is familiar or familiarity. The answer is option 3, deja vu. Right? The answer is option 3, deja vu. Right? What does this mean? This refers to a feeling of familiarity. Right? This refers to a feeling of familiarity. Right? That is what option 3 means. Let's have a look at the other options. Detour, first option. Detour is a deviation. Right? Detour is a deviation or an alternative path. Right? So when I take a different path, I'm deviating from the normal path, that is detour. Right? So if I'm going from destination A to B and if the regular road is blocked and I take a different road, I'm taking a detour. Right? Art Deco. This is basically an art form. Right? It's basically an art form. And the fourth option, the pronunciation is coup d'etat. Right? The pronunciation is coup d'etat. This is a violent takeover. A violent takeover of the government. Right? This is a violent takeover of the government, generally by the military or the army. Right? This is a violent takeover of the government, generally or usually by the military. Right? That is coup d'etat. Right? That is coup d'etat. The answer is option 3 over here. Right? The answer is option 3 over here. Let's come to the next one. Aspire is to despair as anguish is to what? Aspire means to hope. Right? Aspire means to hope. What is despair? Despair is loss of hope or to lose hope, either ways. Noun or a verb, either ways. Aspire is to hope, despair is loss of hope. So aspire and despair, these are antonyms and opposites. And aspire is a positive word, despair is a negative word. Now let's look at anguish. Right? Anguish is basically a negative word. Anguish refers to extreme pain or anxiety or worry. Right? Extreme pain, anxiety, or worry. So anguish is a negative word. Right? Anguish is a negative word. Now, if we have a look at the other options, right? If you have a look at the other options, abject means something that is very bad. Right? Abject refers to something that is very bad. So abject is also a negative word. This cannot be the answer because we are looking for something that is the antonym. So we are looking for the opposite, right? So abject cannot be the answer. Similarly, subservient cannot be the answer because subservient again is a negative word. Subservient refers to someone who is very submissive. Right? It is generally considered to be a negative word. Right? Subservient comes from submissive, right? Sub and serve. And it comes from sub and serve. Someone who is very submissive. So even this is a negative word. Right? So options 1 and 3 cannot be the answers because they're negative words. Now, options 2 and 4. Options 2 and 4 are both positive words. Exalted means high in rank. And this is an important word, exalted. Exalted is high in rank. Reprieve is emotional relief. And reprieve is emotional relief. So exalted and reprieve both are positive words, right? Exalted is also positive. Reprieve is also positive. Right? But between these two, the word reprieve is better associated with the word anguish. Why? Because anguish is also an emotional state of mind. Right? Anguish is also related to emotions. Reprieve is also related to emotions. Exalted does not have to do with emotions. Right? So even though option 2 is a positive word, option 4 is the best option. Right? It's the best option. Okay. Next question. Skinflint is to magnanimous, penurious is what? Skinflint refers to someone who is miserly. Right? Someone who is miserly. What do I mean by miserly? Someone who is not generous, someone who does not spend or give easily. Right? That is skinflint. Magnanimous is the opposite. Right? Magnanimous is the opposite. Magnanimous refers to generous. Correct, Parul. That is what the answer is. Right? Magnanimous refers to generous. So skinflint and magnanimous, right? These are antonyms. Right? These are antonyms. Penurious means extremely poor. Okay? Penurious means extremely poor. So now again we are looking for the opposite. The answer is affluent. Okay? The answer is affluent. Why? Because affluent means wealthy. Okay? The answer is affluent. Affluent means wealthy. Right? So the opposite of penurious is affluent. Again, antonyms. Right? So the answer is affluent. Impecunious. Just make a note. Impecunious again means poor. Okay? Impecunious again means poor. Influential is a person with a lot of influence. Corporeal means something that has a physical form. Right? Corporeal does not have to do with money. Right? So it does not fit into the context. Corporeal does not have to do with money. Influential again does not have to do with money. An influential person can be a rich person, even a poor person can be influential. Right? So influential and corporeal have got nothing to do with money. Impecunious is poor, affluent is wealthy. So the answer is wealthy over here. Right? Okay. Next 3 questions. 35, 36, 37. 35, 36, 37. Parul, 35 is a different answer. Sambhav, 37 is correct. Correct. Sambhav, 37. Okay, let's discuss this. Right? Let's discuss these questions. Putrid. Right? Putrid refers to something that is rotten or stinking. Right? Something that is rotten or stinking. Disgorge refers to discharge or throw out. Right? To discharge or throw out. Right? So putrid is rotten or stinking. Disgorge is to discharge or throw out. So something that is rotten or stinking causes disgorgement. Right? Something that is rotten or stinking causes disgorgement. So what I'm saying is putrid leads to disgorge. Right? So disgorgement happens because it is putrid. So now what I'm looking for is what does pain lead to? So what is the answer over here? Anyone? What does pain lead to? What is the result of pain? The result of putrid is disgorge. What is the result of pain out of these four options? Option 1, correct, Sambhav. It is perturbation. Perturbation means discomfort. Right? Perturbation means discomfort. So pain leads to discomfort. See, pain cannot lead to comfort. Right? That is for sure. Pain does not lead to punishment. Then maybe punishment leads to pain, but pain does not lead to punishment. Right? And pain has got nothing to do with sedative. Right? What is sedative? Sedative is something that has a calming effect. And it's generally a medicine that has a calming effect. And that is sedative. So pain does not have a calming effect, right? So the answer is option 1. Right? The answer is option 1. Next question, agitation is to tranquility. And what is agitation? Agitation is basically disturbance. Right? Agitation is basically disturbance. Right? It is disturbance or trouble. Right? So it's a negative word. Tranquility is calmness. Right? Tranquility is calmness. So agitation and tranquility, these are antonyms. Right? These are antonyms. Agitation and tranquility, these are antonyms. Upheaval. Upheaval is disorder. Okay? Upheaval is disorder. So upheaval is a negative word. So out of these four options, which one is a positive word? Options 1, 2, 3, 4. Which option is a positive word? Amicability, animosity, turmoil, mayhem. Which one is a positive word? Correct, Parul. The answer is option 1, amicability. Okay? Amicability. Amicable means friendly. So amicability is friendliness. Right? Amicability is friendliness. It's a positive word. Make a note of the other words. Animosity is dislike or hatred. Right? So animosity is negative. Turmoil is confusion. Right? Turmoil is confusion. Mayhem is related to violence or damage. Right? Violence or damage. So options 2, 3, 4, these cannot be the answer because these are negative words. Right? We want an antonym of something that is negative, so we require a positive word. Right? We require a positive word. Timid. Timid means fearful. Right? Timid means fearful. Right? Or timid means scared. Fearful or scared. Pusillanimous means without courage. Right? Pusillanimous means without courage. So basically, timid and pusillanimous, these are synonyms. Right? These are synonyms. Timid means fearful, scared. Pusillanimous is without courage. So these are similar words. So now we are looking at a pair of words that gives the same meaning. Affront means insult. And affront means insult, which is exactly what derision also means. Right? The answer is option 4. Right? The answer is option 4. Right? Derision is insult. Deriding is insulting or criticizing. And affront is also insult. Eulogy is praise. Right? Eulogy is praise. Right? Eulogy is a positive word. It cannot be the answer. Affection is a positive word. It cannot be the answer. Right? Confront is slightly negative, not exactly negative, slightly negative. Right? But derision is outright negative. It means insult. Right? So the answer is option 4 here. Right? The answer is option 4 here. Okay. Next 3 questions. 38, 39, 40. Next 3 questions. 38, 39, 40. Okay, in question 39. In question 39, just change this word to brunch. Right? In question 39, I just make it easier. Change the word to brunch. In question 39. Right? Change it to brunch. BRUNCH. Okay, let's discuss. Right? Let's discuss. Pseudonym and pen name mean the same thing. Both of these refer to a fictitious name. Right? Both of these refer to a fictitious name, pseudonym and pen name. Right? What does pseudo mean? Pseudo means false. Right? Pseudo means false. Pseudo. Pseudo means false. So pseudonym is a false name. Right? That is what fictitious is. Pen name. Pen name is generally what is used by authors when they do not want to mention their actual name. So when they write, when they use a pen to write, the alternative name that they use, that is known as pen name, and by authors. So that again is a fictitious name. And some very, very well-known authors have used a pen name. I'll discuss it in one of the other classes when we do reading comprehension, right? A lot of very common and very famous authors do not use their actual name. And so these basically mean the same thing. So now I'm looking for an answer option that means the same thing as moniker, right? I'm looking for an option that means the same thing as moniker. Moniker is also the same thing, right? Moniker refers to a nickname. So something that is not a real name, something that is not the real name, right? Nickname. So tell me which options 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which option is the same as nickname? Maybe you can do it by elimination if you're not sure of the name. Correct above. Correct above. The answer is option 2, Subrike. Right? The pronunciation is Subrike. Right? Subrike is also a nickname. Right? A name that is given to something which is not its actual name. Humiliation has got nothing to do with name. Monetary has got nothing to do with money. What is monetary? Something that deals with money. Right? Maybe not deals, something that is associated with money. And something that is associated with money, that is monetary. Then the root is the same, MONE. Right? Alter ego. Alter ego has a different meaning. Alter ego means different version of oneself. Right? Different version of oneself. Alter ego is not about the name. Right? It is about the nature of a person. Right? Different version of self. And that is alter ego. The answer is Subrike. And the T is not pronounced. It is Subrike. Right? Subrike is the same as moniker. Right? So the answer is option 2. Now, brunch is to portmanteau as moonlight is to what? Right? Just understand what portmanteau is. Right? Just understand this. Portmanteau is a combination of words where some of the letters are deleted. Right? Portmanteau is a combination of words where some of the letters are deleted. That is what portmanteau is. What is brunch? A combination of which two words? Can anyone mention it in the chat box? What is brunch? A combination of which two words? Brunch. That is, where does the word brunch come from? Any idea, anyone? Where does the word brunch come from? Correct, Sambhav. Brunch is a combination of breakfast and lunch. Right? Brunch is a combination of breakfast and lunch. So brunch is food that you have in between breakfast and lunch. That is, instead of having separate breakfast and separate lunch, the food that you have around 12 o'clock, maybe 11:30, 12 o'clock, that is brunch. Right? So this word is formed by combining breakfast and lunch, and some of the letters are deleted. Right? So it is BR from here and it is UNCH from here. The other letters are deleted. Right? So brunch is an example of portmanteau. What is moonlight an example of? Tell me what the answer is now. Anyone? Is moonlight a part of speech? Is moonlight verbose? Is moonlight compound word, or is moonlight synonym? Correct, Shambhav. The answer is option 3. It's a combined word. It's a compound word. Parul, correct. It's option 3. Compound word. Right? It's a compound word. Compound word is basically a combination of two words. And here what happens is there is no deletion. Right? The difference is that in case of a compound word, there is no deletion. So moonlight is basically a combination of moon plus light. Right? There is no deletion over here. Moon is complete, light is complete. They have combined the two words. But in portmanteau, right? There is a combination with deletion. Just for information, right? Just for information, the word smog is also portmanteau. Why? Because smog comes from smoke plus fog. Right? It comes from smoke plus fog. So smog is also a portmanteau. Right? And if I want another example of compound word, look at a word like doorknob. Doorknob is a compound word. Why? Because it is a combination of door and knob. Something as simple as notebook, right? Something as simple as notebook. Notebook is also a compound word. Why? Because it is note and book. These are two different words. Right? So these are just some examples. Right? These are just some examples. What does verbose mean? Verbose means wordy. Something that has a lot of words. Right? Something that has a lot of words. So verbose is wordy. Okay? Verbose is wordy. Okay. Next question. It says senile is to aged person as dash is to youth. Senile means someone who has lost cognitive or maybe what we can say is mental abilities. Right? Senility is loss of cognitive or mental abilities. Right? Someone who has lost cognitive or mental abilities. Right? So senile and aged person could be senile. Why? Because with age, right? Because with age, maybe the mind deteriorates. Right? So there is a gradual loss of cognitive or mental abilities. I'm not saying there are no cognitive or mental abilities, but there is maybe a gradual loss which could be a characteristic of an aged person. So basically, senile is a characteristic or could be a characteristic of someone who is aged. So now we are looking for a characteristic of someone who is young. Tell me what option? Out of options 1, 2, 3, 4, which option? Something that could be a characteristic of the youth, of young. Somehow correct. It is option 2. It is option 2. Callow. Callow means inexperienced. Right? Callow means inexperienced. Right? In some cases, it could even refer to immature. Right? So youth maybe could be inexperienced or immature. Careless is too extreme. Right? Youth does not necessarily have to be careless. Right? Careless is too extreme. Options for charismatic, charming. Right? These are not necessarily characteristics of the youth. Right? Even an old person can be charismatic or charming. Right? Even an old person can be careless. But callow is something that is more associated with the youth. Right? It is more associated with the youth. Okay, next three questions. Next three questions. 41, 42, 43. 41, 42, 43. Sambhav, different answer for 43. Different answer. Okay, let's discuss. Right? Let's discuss. Let's start with question 41. Right? Let's start with question 41. Aficionado. Right? Aficionado. Understand what the meaning is? Aficionado is a devotee. It's a devotee or a person who likes something immensely. Right? An aficionado is a devotee or a person who likes something immensely, and that is aficionado. Right? For example, right? Just to give an example, I can say that my friend is a motorcycle aficionado. Right? I can say that my friend is a motorcycle aficionado. Right? That is, he likes motorcycles immensely. He has a lot of knowledge. He's maybe crazy about motorcycles. Right? That is aficionado. Right? In this context, motorcycle aficionado. Right? So we are saying aficionado is to what, as admirer is to critic. You will notice that these two words, admirer and critic, these two words are opposites. Right? These two words are opposites. Admirer admires something, critic criticizes something. Right? So now tell me, out of these four options, buff, fanatic, maniac, and carper, which word will be the opposite of aficionado? Aficionado is basically a devotee. Which option will be the opposite? The answer is option 4. Right? The answer is option 4. Carper is a person who complains or criticizes. Right? A person who complains or criticizes, that is carper. Carp means to complain. Right? Carp means to complain. So carper is a person who complains or criticizes. The word buff, please make a note, is the same as aficionado. Right? It has other meanings as well, but in the context of this question, it is the same as aficionado, person who is a fan. Right? A person who likes something a lot or someone a lot. Right? Fanatic. A fanatic is a person who shows excessive enthusiasm. Right? A person who shows excessive enthusiasm. Maniac is a person who acts in a crazy manner. Right? A person who acts in a crazy manner is a maniac. So maybe an aficionado is a buff, an aficionado is a fanatic, an aficionado can be a maniac. So options 1, 2, 3 can be similar to an aficionado, whereas carper is the opposite. Okay? Carper is the opposite. So the answer is option 4 here. Okay, next question. Pugilist is to pugnacious. Please make a note of the word pugilist. This is an important word. Pugilist is another word for boxer. Right? Pugilist is another word for boxer. When I say boxer, I'm talking about boxing. Right? I'm talking about boxing. Right? The sport of boxing. So a person who participates in the sport of boxing, right, is a boxer. Right? Is a pugilist. Pugnacious means aggressive. Right? Pugnacious means aggressive. Right? Pugilist is a boxer is aggressive. Right? A boxer is supposed to be aggressive. Only then will he win the fight. Right? The answer is immoral. Libertine is immoral. Right? Libertine is immoral. Right? Libertine is immoral. Right? The answer is option 2, immoral. Right? The answer is option 2, immoral. Now, please make a note of a very important concept over here. Amoral versus immoral. I don't know whether I discussed this in the first class or not when I was giving examples of confusing words, but just make a note of this. There is a difference between amoral and immoral. Immoral is a person who is not, or let me put it across as, immoral is a person who knows what is right and wrong. Right? Immoral is a person who has knowledge about morality. So immoral is a person who knows what is right and wrong and still does wrong. Right? Or let me put it across as still goes against morality. Right? This is better. A person who knows what is moral, immoral, and still goes against morality, that is immoral. Amoral is a person who does not know what is right or wrong. And these are two different words. Please make a note of this. These are two different words. Right? I guess this has been asked in one of the exams, right? Or in the exam. Right? Please differentiate between these two words. Immoral is a person who knows what is right or wrong and still does what goes against morality. Amoral is a person who is ignorant of morality. Right? A person who is ignorant of morality. Right? I'll give you a simple example. Right? I'll give all of you a simple example to differentiate between amoral and immoral. Right? I'll mention a specific instance, right, to differentiate. Let us say that it is wrong to hit elders. Right? I'm just taking a hypothetical case. Let us say that it is wrong to hit elders. That is, I cannot raise my hand on elders. Right? If I know this, and in spite of knowing this, if I still hit someone who is elder to me, in that case, I am immoral. Why am I immoral? Because I know that it is wrong to hit elders, but in spite of that, I'm hitting someone who's elder. Right? I'm just taking a hypothetical case. Right? So in that case, I am immoral. On the other hand, if I consider a small child, right? On the other hand, if I consider a small child, maybe a 1-year-old child, and a 1-year-old child hits its mother, right? A 1-year-old child doesn't maybe know what is right or wrong. So in that case, the 1-year-old child who hits its mother, that 1-year-old child is not immoral, that 1-year-old child is amoral. Why is that 1-year-old child amoral? Because that person does not know, a small child does not know what is right and wrong. Right? Just make a note, immoral is considered a negative word. Amoral is a neutral word. Right? This is important, please make a note of this. Immoral is a negative word. Amoral is a neutral word. It is neither negative nor positive. Right? It is neither negative nor positive, amoral, whereas immoral is negative. Right? Okay. Sonnet. A sonnet is a type of poem. Right? It's a specific kind of poem. If I'm not wrong, it is a poem with 14 lines. Right? So a sonnet is a type of poem. Lamentation. What is lamentation? Someone libertine is someone whose intentions are not good. Right? Whose intentions are not good. That is libertine. Someone whose intentions are not good. Right? I'm just giving the general definition of the word, and without being specific. Someone whose intentions are not good is someone who is immoral. Right? That is why the word libertine is related to immorality. Right? Someone who wishes to do something that is not correct. Right? So to say, in a general manner. Sonnet is a kind of poem. Lamentation is expression of sorrow. Right? Lamentation is an expression of sorrow. Right? So sonnet is a type of poem. So we are looking for an answer option which is a type of expression of sorrow. Right? Which is a type of expression of sorrow. Right? The answer is dirge. Please make a note here. The answer is dirge. Dirge is essentially a funeral song. Right? Dirge is basically a funeral song. It is a song of grief. Right? It is a song which is used to express grief when someone dies. Right? That is dirge. Let's have a look at the other options. Option 1, epic is a long poem which generally shows the deeds of a hero. Right? That is an epic. It's a long narrative poem. Right? It could be a story also. Generally, when it is used in a general context, it could even be a story, right? A story could also be an epic. But a lot of times, epics are poems, right? It could also be a story. But even if it is a story, it generally details the deeds of a hero, right? Could be stories. Option 2, ode. Ode is something that expresses strong feelings of love or respect. Right? Love or respect. And it expresses strong feelings of love or respect. That is ode. So if I say that this is an ode to so and so person, it means I'm expressing my respect towards that person. Right? That is ode. And option 4, lyric has a number of meanings. One common meaning of lyric is the wordings of a poem or a song. Right? That is one meaning of lyric. Right? The wordings of a poem or song. Another meaning of lyric is a poem that expresses personal feelings. Right? It's a poem that expresses personal feelings. Right? That is another meaning of lyric. Right? But in a very normal usage, lyric is also the words of a song or a poem. Right? So what I have described over here is all from the context of a poem. Right? So the best option here is dirge, because dirge is related to lamenting. Lamenting is expressing grief or sorrow. Okay. Okay, very quickly, last two questions. Very quickly. We are almost done with the sheet. Very quickly, last two questions. Which question, Parul? Number of different answers. Parul, 44 is correct. Number of different answers. Okay, let's discuss. Question 44, mundane. Right? Question 44, mundane. Mundane means boring. Right? Something that is repetitive, same thing day in, day out, something that is boring. Right? So mundane is boring. Stirring. One meaning of stirring when used as an adjective is exciting. Right? Stirring also means to move something, but that is a verb. And as an adjective, stirring means exciting. Right? So boring and exciting, these are opposites. Right? These are opposites. So now we are looking for the opposite of exciting, right? The answer is humdrum. Option 4. Humdrum means something that is dull or boring. Right? Something that is dull or boring. That is humdrum. Mundane is a negative word. Humdrum is a negative word. Stirring is a positive word. Exciting is a positive word. Right? Enriching is a positive word, so it cannot be the answer. We are looking for something negative, right? Something similar to mundane. Money has got nothing to do with all of this. Corporeal also has nothing to do with all of this. Corporeal, I had discussed in one of the earlier questions. Corporeal is something that has a physical form. Right? Corporeal is something that is physical in nature, maybe not spiritual, physical in nature. Right? The answer is humdrum. Last question. Scrawny. Scrawny means thin. Right? So scrawny and plump, these are more or less opposites. Tell me what is the answer? Parul, correct. Right? Scrawny and plump are opposites. Thin and plump, these are opposites. Right? So the answer is option 1, curtail. Right? The answer is option 1, curtail. Curtail means to cut short. Prolong means to lengthen. To make something long is prolong. Right? To make something long is prolong. Cut something short is curtail. So it's the opposite. Stretch is the same as prolong. Right? Stretch is the same as prolong. Ephemeral is something that lasts a short time. Right? Something that lasts a short time. Right? It is not exactly the opposite of prolong. Right? Perennial. Perennial means perpetual. Right? Perennial means perpetual or continuous. Right? Perennial or perpetual is, perpetual or continuous is perennial. Right? So the opposite here is curtail. Ephemeral was close, but prolonged is a verb. Curtail is also a verb, whereas ephemeral is an adjective. Right? So both of these were similar parts of speech. So we look for a similar part of speech. The answer is option 1. Let's stop here. We are done with the sheet. There are 2 question types that we discussed today: confusable words and analogies. Right? What my suggestion is, maybe if not tomorrow or day after, maybe a week from now, the words that we have discussed in this class, please go through them again. Right? When I say words, not necessarily questions, all the answer options as well. Right? Because even the answer options, some of them are important words. Right? So please go through the meanings once more, right? At least once more. Right? So we'll stop here. Thanks a lot. Thanks.